This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I want to cover this video because I haven't covered as many music videos as I used to cover for lots of reasons. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of subjects to talk about, but it is so crucial to talk about some of these things such as music videos and stuff that's going on in the media from movies to TV shows for a simple reason. This channel was designed and created to wake up the sleeper. That's it. And you're not going to wake up somebody who's sound asleep by going up to them and starting to talk to them about transhumanism, talking to them about satanic cults and how they do this stuff to babies as young as 2 months old and cannibalism and all that stuff, because their brains cannot comprehend it. You can't throw somebody right into the fire and expect them to go, oh, okay, tell me more. You have to ease people into this. We all woke up in a certain way. Something triggered a lot of you. I knew my whole life that something was wrong. I couldn't figure out what it was. I was a follower of Christ, reading scripture, trying to figure out what is wrong with me because I feel this way about everything going on in the world, but I couldn't figure it out. And when I did, it took time. I couldn't deal with everything at once. Now, I started from the awakening of realizing that these cults and stuff were actually real, and they had desensitized me into believing that they weren't real. That there weren't really these people who were Satan worshipers, that the stereotype was all there was of a Satan worshiper. The kid who dressed like a goth, who had the black lipstick and like Marilyn Manson. But others out there aren't going to be able to wake up from just certain things that woke you up. That's what people have to understand. People just go, well, I'm just going to talk about this one subject. And if you don't wake up, you're a sheep. There's so many different ways to reach people. Something has to trigger in their mind to get them to realize this. And I try to show you the repetition through signs and symbols, as well as many other things. It's not the only thing that I talk about. But I have to make sure I keep mixing it in and showing you this stuff. Because if you're somebody who just follows this channel to see the music videos, and trust me, there's people who just follow it and only watch the videos that are about celebrities. And it's not that I do it to get views, because I can't even tag the celebrities in the video. Not anymore. But there's so many people who are sound asleep who worship these people. And what is important is to show them repetition, right? So Taylor Swift has another music video out. This time with Future and Ed Sheeran. I don't know even how to say his last name, and I don't care. It seems like it's the most common message I get from people. Instead of the message about the video, it's how to pronounce this redhead's last name. But you'll see that repetition of these symbols is in all of these videos. It's the same things over and over. And this helps people's brains snap out of it and wake up. Because when their brain starts seeing repetition called out, people start consciously thinking and start realizing, wow, this is going on here. And it's not just a coincidence. It's deliberately done. So Taylor Swift's new song, of course, called Endgame, right? That's not, that's not suspicious at all. Her last video, she had something in it about how we need to save witches. I mean, these people are just not hiding it. They just don't respect anyone out there because they know, first of all, people like me can get shut down. They shut down my main channel, 250,000 subscribers, easily could be considered the fastest growing channel ever in this genre. And now, whatever, I'm down in the 80s with my backup channel, and that's fine. But they can silence us like that. But they know that people still are going to listen to stuff like this, and they're not going to get it because they're prideful. They've created a prideful society. So let's look at the repetition and the consistency in these symbols because it's important in helping wake people up. Taylor Swift, like I said, talking about witches and all that stuff, but what is the one symbol I always point out? Well, I point a lot out, but what is the one common one? The black and white colors, right? And people still, they think it's this huge joke. They're like, oh man, just because I have a shirt that might be black and white, I'm a Freemason or I'm a Satanist. No, I'm talking about it in these videos. It's deliberately put there to pay homage to them, to show who's behind it. These people are narcissistic, egotistical freaks. So you see Taylor Swift Of course, in her black and white checkered shirt, sitting next to Ed at a karaoke bar in Tokyo. Then, of course, you see the black and white Masonic floors. The black and white represents duality, the esoteric crap that they believe in. Your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds. All Freemason lodges, all of them, have a black and white floor. Some will have blue and white for other reasons, depending on the lodge and what the actual order is. But the Freemason lodges all have this black and white flooring. That's why you see it in the Kardashian house. Okay, Freemasonry is one of the secret societies involved in the cabal, involved in this gigantic pyramid known as the New World Order, or whatever you want to call it, which is broken into many secret societies. But all of them always pay homage to Masonry, whether they're Satanists, witches, or whatever they might be now, or high-ranking, wizards. Yes, I mean, that's what these people become. They go through Masonry. They're indoctrinated with Masonry, and they want you to be indoctrinated with it too. And that's what they're doing little by little through the mainstream media. They're bringing the quote-unquote values that they believe in, which are really just trash, and they're indoctrinating people with that. This belief that they're their own gods. That's what Freemasons believe and are told, right? They believe in mysticism and all that stuff. They're indoctrinating people to think that way, to believe that they're in total control. They're their own gods. This is all stuff that we're seeing go on, but people don't realize that's what they're doing. So you see the black and white colors. You also see more Freemasonry, which is Taylor Swift wearing the Masonic top hat. I'm sure you've seen this before with Madonna and other celebrities. The top hat, Master Mason hat. She's not wearing it to have a great time at the party. Okay, they throw stuff like this in there deliberately. Somebody didn't just go, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we got one of those Abe Lincoln top hats and we threw it on Taylor Swift? Yeah, that would be a great idea, right? That would be so sexy and cool. No, all these things are strategically done. Everything is shot in front of something for a reason. So you see her in the Masonic Master Mason top hat. Of course, she's wearing the rainbow type outfit, which is just more LGBT stuff. They do this to just subliminally condition you into acceptance of all this stuff. The colors, the signs. That's why it's there. So she's in her, rainbow out outfit, which, shouldn't surprise anybody because all these celebrities are all pumping out, pushing the LGBT stuff. You also see the number 13 all the time. Now, that's something associated with Taylor Swift. She gives you some BS reason as to why. 13 is obviously an occultic number. The license plate's 13. They show the, I don't know what you call karaoke machine or something like that with the number 13 on it. That is for a reason. This is an occultic number. Obviously, you're aware of the Friday the 13th and all that stuff, which I've covered, which I don't know. That might be a video that they've taken down. But 13 is an occultic number, deliberately on the license plate, deliberately there on the machine. They didn't just go, let's have a random, they didn't just go, and we're going to film the boombox now, and it's going to have 13 on it, and no one's going to go, oh, maybe we should have another. No, it's deliberately there, just like the license plate is deliberately chosen as 13. Now you'll see this guy, Future. Of course, he throws up devil horns and all that stuff all the time. He's in the video as well. But if you look closely, you'll see Taylor Swift sitting deliberately positioned in this spot in front of this X on the wall. I've covered the X before. The X to them symbolizes the transformation and the Antichrist. Okay? The Antichrist is represented by the X. That's why you'll see a lot of athletes throw up the X who are in secret societies. The transformation they believe is the transformation that's coming, which is, transhumanism and all that stuff, but also in the acceptance of the Antichrist. Rihanna does this a lot with the number 10 and this numerology. So she's deliberately put there in front of the 10. You'll see her sitting in a chair as well in front of two pillars. Okay, two pillars are also a common Masonic theme, because in Freemasonry, they have the two Masonic pillars. They also have the floor, the checkered floor. So she's sitting in the middle of the two Masonic pillars with the black cat in the corner of the room. Now, this is nothing against actual black cats. If you're a black cat owner, don't worry about it. But listen, we know with witches and stuff with cats, there's a lot of, things that they believe about, cats and seeing in the future and all this bizarre stuff. But it's deliberately placed there, the black cat. We've seen The Weeknd and other people use the black cat symbolism. It's pretty common for everybody out there. They know how, the cat can be associated with witchcraft and all that. The then we see this guy who has the Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's Cube, of course, which is 3 by 3 by 3, right? You get your 33 symbolism, the Rubik's Cube, right where, the third eye would be, right? Saturn worship, the cube which represents Saturn worship, which is Satan worship. It is deliberately placed there over that spot on the forehead where the quote-unquote third eye is, right? Deliberately done. I have videos covering the Rubik's Cube. Again, I don't know if those are ones that were taken down as well, if they're on my old channel or this one. I have to go through it. That is something I'm working on, is making sure that all this information can still be out there, because I'm not getting the first channel back, and I'll cover that in a video soon. Doesn't seem like they're going to let me. I don't know, how to get it back at this point. They just continue to reject any appeal. But again, the cube represents Saturn worship, right? We've seen the cube in so many videos. The Rubik's Cube, look at the dimensions of the Rubik's Cube, right? 3, 3, 3 on each side. And of course, right, like I said, on the forehead. So you'll see pretty much the same garbage in all music videos. The black and white symbolism, something pointing out to masonry, 33 symbolism, the number 13 used a lot. You don't just have to look for a video and look around for all-seeing eyes, which is kind of like a common thing that people do now, because they aren't even blatantly showing that anymore. They've kind of like just moved on from showing all-seeing eyes and pyramids all the time. The Masonic symbols are always there. They don't care if people like me are pointing it out or not, because they know people are going to laugh it off and go, oh yeah, I've got a black and white floor tile kitchen myself. I must be a Satanist, right? Because their brains can't comprehend this stuff. We live in such a stupid world. It's deliberately done. They will find these locations, or they will create them themselves to put these symbols in. The black and white floor, her in the black and white shirt. How many times have I pointed out these black and white floors in almost every video, every movie, from Beauty and the Beast to, you can go through and archive all the videos that I've done where they will show the black and white symbolism. Sure, it's something simple, but this is something that should invoke some type of awakening in someone's mind to say, why is that always there? And then to start looking into Freemasonry, these secret groups, these secret organizations that are in every town. If you're someone who's new to the channel, there's a Masonic lodge in your town. All right? When you get off the highway, you'll see signs for, Freemason Lodge. Right? So that they know, oh, good, there's brothers in this town. There's brothers, they call each other brothers. In every town. They're in every town in America. They're right under our noses, yet nobody thinks or does anything about it. And they're the ones that, now, I'm not saying that the people at the top, the Masons are at the top. The Masons are at the bottom. But all the people who work their way to the top through all these different orders, Zionism, the Jesuits, all these guys, the ODO, these satanic organizations, they work through Masonry first. And there'll always be members of Masonry, because once you're a member, you never get out. And that's something that's common with all of these organizations once they branch off into something else, that at the root and the core of them is they are Freemasons. This is where they learn and are taught about mysticism, right? Which is magic. That's why they call it the craft. And they're taught that Lucifer is the god of this world. And that's why you see this symbolism. It's all over the place. I had Pandora on 80s the other day. I don't listen to music often, but if I'm cleaning or doing something, and right there on the screen, the song Tainted Love, right, from the 80s. Everyone's heard it before. I had the picture of the album cover. Look at it. This is how blatantly obvious they are. They aren't hiding it. Look at the cover for Tainted Love, for Soft Cell, or whatever the band's called. Look, that look familiar? Got your Freemason Lodge, your tiles, that's just a picture of Freemasonry. This is the cover for their album, for this song. All of this stuff is right in front of our eyes. So Taylor Swift, she's doing wearing the top hat, wearing the black and white, showing the 13, performing in front of the X, which is just blatantly, you don't get more deliberate than that, the Antichrist transformation symbol. And the Rubik's Cube, the 33. You get your 333. Right on this guy's forehead, the Saturn worship. So every video, for the most part, that's mainstream has these symbols in it. You could pick pretty much anyone out, that's in the mainstream. And this is like the third or fourth one from Taylor Swift's new album that's got this stuff in it. We had her in the birdcage. We had all this other stuff with the witches and transhumanism and the future. And this is what they do. They use these signs and symbols to condition you because your brain is not critically thinking when it's watching this stuff. It's in an alpha state. It's sleeping. You're watching it, but you're not processing the symbols and signs. But you're not processing it on a conscious level, but your brain is processing it. And they get away with this stuff. So all these Masons, all these Satanists watch this stuff and they know, oh yeah, they love it. They mock us. They spit in our faces. They get off on that stuff. These people are the lowest form of scum on the earth. I hope this show helped people out there who need help in waking up, who aren't convinced yet. Look for repetition. When you start seeing repetition, your mind will start breaking free from the chains. Because you'll start realizing that it has been programmed. Because you'll start seeing stuff done over and over. The key to mind control is repetition. And that's what they use and have used on all of us. That's why when you go through school, we're in there for so long, indoctrinated for so long, learning the same stuff year after year. Right? From kindergarten, you start when you're like 5 years old or however old you are, all the way up until you're 21? That's for a reason. Not so you could keep learning more, because you learn the same crap. History, all fake lies. They want to beat it into your brain through repetition to the point where you can't break free from the control. So things like this help people break free, and it's important to point it out. I thank you again for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.